Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting on March 6th, Monday, 2020.
March 16th.
March 16th, I'm sorry, 2020. Will everybody please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just to cover this real quick, due to the nature of the emergencies that are going on with the federal government as well as with the state government and the county, I apologize for the short notice to everyone in Monroe that we do not have a public at this time at this meeting. For the next meetings, should there be any change or if we continue to do non-public attendance to these meetings, you'll be contacted either on the town website or continuous contact, as well as the newspapers. And of course, that would be a decision that will be made, of course, by the members of the board. Is there any objection to that, board members?
No objection.
Okay.
No objection.
So today I do apologize for that, but I can guarantee that you'll have some more notice as this continues. Okay. Can I get a motion to open the board?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, a motion to continuation of the public hearing of the proposed amendment, Chapter 57 to the town code.
I'll make that motion.
I think it's a motion to open.
Well, we got, oh yes, that's right,
Well,
I'm
it is
sorry.
continued, but, we're
It's
opening it
continued?
for tonight's purposes.
Yeah.
For tonight, I can say continued?
You can say open for now, because we're going to continue it, so just motion to open the
Okay, so-
continuation of that meeting.
An opening for the continuation of this motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
And Mr. Colon, before we move forward, just explain for anyone that's listening that the board is going to continue any and all public hearings that are occurring tonight, so there will be an opportunity to comment. Since we're sort of operating, although people can hear, they won't necessarily be able to participate. So if the board has any comments, you could make them, but I just want to let people listening know that each public hearing will be continued, so they will have an opportunity to appear in person at some point in the future.
And they'll be continued on April 6th, correct?
Well,
Yeah, all
except-
hearings
Except the
except Chapter
25th.
57 that we just opened to continue. That public hearing is currently scheduled to continue on March 25th for that purpose and for the secret purposes. So if anything changes, we'll have people keep checking the town website.
Okay.
Right.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to keep open the continuation of the public hearing on the proposed amendment to Chapter 57, the town code. We are having a public hearing on that on Wednesday, March 25th at 7 p.m. on the secret or the DGIS that
Right, the
DGIS that has been done and submitted by the town planner.
I'll second that.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay. 3.3, motion to open the continuation of public hearing for proposed changes on Article 14 of the Town of Monroe zoning local law.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
And the possible to keep the motion of continuation for that proposal of Chapter 14?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we keep open the continuation of the public hearing on Article, what are we at here? Article 14.
Article 14.
Of the Town of Monroe local zoning, Town of Monroe zoning local law.
Next
And that
hearing.
it relates to non-conforming properties, I believe we're still waiting on getting some information on that from the county, and so we would be unable to do anything with it at this time anyway.
Okay.
And Councilman McGinn, just that will be April 6th. at
That will be
7
April
p.m.
6th at 7:05 p.m.
I'll second that.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Motion to open the public hearing regarding the continuation of Old Country Road Water District.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye. I believe, Mr. Nugent, we're still waiting on the village of KJ / Town of Palm Tree to we're going back and forth still with the contract on this.
Yeah, I think we're close to resolution on that, but we could put it on for April 6th.
April 6th,
to be
okay.
done.
April or?
7:10.
Yeah. Supervisor, if you want to say something, I'm just going to test to see if we can hear the supervisor. I guess not. Supervisor,
Can he
you hear me?
type? Can he type like a message, a chat? No.
Yeah, I don't know. Not hearing him. So
All right. So I'll make a motion to keep open the public hearing regarding the continuation of the Old Country Road Water District till April 6th at 7:10.
7:10?
I'll
Yep.
second that.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay. And that covers 3.6 as well. 3.7, public hearing, community development block grant for senior center ADA improvements.
I'm keeping that.
And that is to
yeah.
keep that open until,
No, well, first you're going to have
Yeah.
to open. I'll make a motion to open.
I'll second that.
okay. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye. All right. I'll make a motion that we keep that open, the public hearing regarding the community block development grants for the senior center, the ADA improvements, till April
April 6th.
6th at 7:15 p.m.
I will second that, Councilman McGinn.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay. And that brings us down to 3.9. Possible
Yeah, we
motion.
We just
Yeah, we
That was
just,
it.
yeah.
reopen that.
We open that one?
Yep.
Okay, yes, okay, I see that senior center improvement.
Yeah, that was kind of like
It's
That's
a
April.
little,
Yeah, we're
April
good though.
6th at
We already said
7:15.
we already did it.
Yeah,
We
we're good.
mashed that thing to death, right?
we're good.
So all public hearings are remaining open till March 25th and April 6th.
Right.
And it should also be noted that anybody that wishes to send in written comments, feel free to do so. We'll
Yes.
take written comments.
Yes, they will be accepted. As people have noted, I'm sure that the town hall will be closed, what, until, for the week?
Monday.
Till Monday.
Till Monday?
Monday.
And we'll resume. We'll probably have a skeletal crew, but that will also be published.
The Making an Impact Award, 4.1.
I'm looking at that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
4.1.
tabled, right?
Yeah, so we're
Okay,
gonna have
good.
to table that until we can have public participation again. That was recognition of Village of Monroe Police Officer Daniel Lindell for his life-saving efforts on a call on February 23rd in the town of Monroe. So we'll table that until such time
I think that'd
that
be
we can
a
we
very
can
good-
adequately
Yeah,
recognize the officer with the public present for a job very well done.
Well, it's, and the thing is that our first responders throughout the country and throughout the state and the county do this on a daily basis. So I think it's important that we do recognize what they do every day.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Also, Orange County Legislator Peter Toohey, he's not in.
Yeah, we'll
So,
have to
of
table
course,
that.
we'll be getting an update.
Yes, I can hear you.
Are we tabling that till April 6th or?
April 6th.
Supervisor has joined us.
let me just say this. So, where are you guys at? 'Cause I got kicked out.
4.2, P2E. We're tabling him because he's not here.
4.1, 4.2, and 4.3 should be tabled till next month.
Correct.
Yeah, we're gonna
Right.
take up 4.3 right now.
We're
So-
doing that now, Tom.
Yeah, so because the Orange County Department of Planning is not here to do their presentation with the 2020 census, make a motion that we table that until April 6th, or when it can be rescheduled at their convenience.
I will second that.
Call the question, please.
Bingham, aye.
Clone, aye?
Scancarello, aye.
McKenna, aye.
Cardone, aye.
All right.
So,
Okay.
regarding the Village of Monroe election, says
So-
that the polls are still going to be
Yeah,
open?
it's announcement, so the
still gonna
village
be-
election is March 18th.
18th.
Yep, 9
9
to
to
9, at the Village Hall Boardroom.
And it's still
located-
scheduled at this
Yep,
point?
located at 7 Stage Road. It is for 2 trustees and a
Judge.
village judge. I think the trustees' positions are being contended, and the judge is not at this time. So we urge all everyone that is a Village of Monroe resident to get out there and exercise your constitutional duty. Do not let this
Yes.
COVID-19 keep you from doing so, and make sure you support the candidates that have done a great job.
They do have hand
Hey,
sanitizer at the.
Just a note on that, I was on a call today with Orange County Executive, and there's a possibility that those elections may be postponed.
Wow.
All right,
That's what I thought.
duly noted.
Wow.
So please keep that in mind, village residents, that there may be a postponement on that, and you will be advised shortly. General Abstract Fund?
Okay.
Okay. Be it resolved that the Town Board of Monroe requests an approval of Abstract 20-12, general funding check, 25425 through 25521, totaling of $461,165.70.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I will second.
Thank you. Call the question, please.
Bingham, aye.
Clone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McKenna, aye.
We have another abstract, if you please, with the, Ms. Beams, would you care to, you have that?
You're going to do the escrow abstract and the road opening, or do you want me to do this one now?
Do this one now.
Okay,
Get that.
there is a budgetary transfer coming from the floor this evening. It is a transfer from account A000-1990-0000-00, contingent account of $7,020. It's going to account SF-19-4110-00, Lakeside Fire Awards. This transfer is to fund service award program for the next 6 months. So this is to fund the service award program.
Right,
Otherwise
thank
known
you.
as
Guys,
LoSAP.
Yes.
LoSAP.
That's item 7.2.
Wanted to make the transfer, I believe, first.
Right, but I wanted to get this out of the way.
Yeah, that's what item 7.2 is, the transfer of funds.
Okay, thank you. So noted. Call the question, please.
Who made the motion? I need a first.
Who made the
One
motion? I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Call the question, please.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
McKenna, aye.
Okay, 5.2, escrow abstract, and that is, be it resolved that the Town Board of Monroe requests the approval of abstract 20-023, escrow funding check containing check number 1901, totaling $1,825.00.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the question, please.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McKenna, aye.
And we have a road opening. Road opening abstract, and that is a road opening refund of $2,500. Check number 1289. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Begin I, that's for $2,500.
Right.
Yeah, 2,500. Okay. That takes care of that. Oh, acceptance of the March 2nd, 2020 minutes, meeting for the minutes for March 2nd.
They're being held till the next meeting because of all the public hearings. They were just completed today.
Okay, understood.
We'll table that.
So we'll have to
April
table that till the
6th.
next meeting. We don't have to have a vote on tabling it, do we?
No.
April 6th.
Good. And that would be for April 6th. What we have is Water District 12 resolution and order after public hearing. Let me see. This would be as follows. Resolution in order after public hearing. Whereas the Town Board of Monroe, herein called the Town, in the County of Orange, New York, on behalf of Water District 12, herein called the District, has therefore held a public hearing on May 15th, 2017, for the increase and improvement of facilities of the district, consisting of the installation of water mains and pump control panel, and necessary, what is that? Appurtenances? Okay, here too. The project estimated to cost thereof is $375,000. And adopt the resolution on October 16, 2017, authorizing the issuance of bonds in the principal amount not to exceed $375,000 to finance the project. Whereas the town board has now determined that it is in the best interest of the town and the district to finance the cost of said project with the issuance of bonds, now therefore is hereby determined that any and all actions hereto or hereinafter taken by the town on behalf of the district with respect to the increase and improvement of such facilities of the district as hereinabove described are ratified, approved, and confirmed, and it is hereby ordered that the expense of said increase and improvement of facilities shall be financed by the issuance of not to exceed $375,000 bonds of the town, and the cost of said increase and improvement of facilities, including payment of principals of and interest on said bonds, shall be paid by the assessment levied and collected of assessments upon the several lots and parcels of land within the district, which the town board shall deem specifically benefited by said improvements. So much upon and from each as shall be in just proportion to the amount of benefit which improvements shall confer upon the same, to pay the principal of and interest on said bonds as this same shall become due upon payable, and is hereby therefore ordered that the town clerk shall record or cause to be recorded a certified copy of this resolution, and order after public hearing in the office of the town clerk of Orange County within 10 days after adoption thereof, dated March 16th.
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution as read.
I'll second.
I think Supervisor wanted to say something. Go ahead, Supervisor.
Okay, so the reason for this is when we did the bond resolution last time, in the fall, we missed a step in not adopting the order, and it was the last legal step before we could adopt the order. So we're not actually borrowing this money until we actually approve to borrow the money for the debt that was incurred by the water district in which the town lended money. That's what this
That's what the
entails.
375 is.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, and again, I thought we did this all back in 17 when we
17.
started this, you know?
Yeah, but this is, I guess, the formal proclamation that it
well-
will be in fact on the taxes and they
Well,
will be paid.
it was done in 17, but the order was never given, and that was back when the controller did not follow through on the final step in the process.
Shocking.
So,
All
I
right.
have a question for council. I live in this
conflict of
district.
interest?
Should I, I recuse
you
myself?
think?
Because you're in the district?
Yes.
First of all, I don't think you're going to be a deciding vote, but if it's not necessarily one that affects you individually to the point that you would have to recuse yourself. It's just usually a disclosure that you're a resident of Water District 12 and that you think you can be objective, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you could abstain from the vote if you choose to do that. But I don't think it's a mandatory recusal because it's not as if it's an application related to your property or your house. You're just a resident of a larger water district.
All right, so as long as I make a public notice saying I live in this district and this will affect me, that's fine.
I think we
Okay.
just did that, so
Thank
you're
you.
good.
You're good.
Mary, I think I speak for everyone on this board when I say that your integrity is beyond reproach, so we're not worried about that.
I want to keep it that way, too.
Well, that's right, absolutely, I hear you.
No problem there. So, that being said,
Who's making the second?
who shall make the second?
I'll second.
Good. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Begin I.
Said the voice box.
Come on,
Okay.
Sal, let me go.
What's that?
This, or I kind of want to check
He
off
said
there.
after
No, I
you
have
go,
it.
I gotta give it like a second, so he could.
Okay.
Pause for a second.
7.2 we did. Use 7.3.
Well, we made the budgetary transfer. Do we still have to approve the payment to the LoSAP?
I thought we did that.
I thought we just
Yeah,
did the
the
budgetary transfer.
All right,
Was it-
then.
So it should be a second motion.
We
We
should make that for the payment. Are you making the motion?
I will make the motion to allow the payment to,
The budgetary transfer for the LoSAP.
for the LoSAP, yes.
Cologne, is second. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye?
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Begin I.
So moved. Okay. Now, this is 7.3, the use of Mumbaisha Park. Approval use of Mumbaisha Park for the 2020 spring and fall season for Monroe Woodbury Little League, Orange County Smash Baseball Travel League, I guess, Monroe Woodbury United Soccer. All leagues are scheduled to begin their season in April, weather permitting. Dates have been requested by the applicants and reviewed by the department head, Anne Marie Morris, to avoid scheduling conflicts. All paperwork, fees, and insurance have been submitted and reviewed. Are there any questions by the board?
I'll make the motion to approve the action, the resolution, however, pending
Right.
whatever
Situation.
state and other
Is
guidelines
required.
govern public,
Use, okay.
public attendance at such events.
It just says April, it doesn't say when in April, so.
It doesn't
Yeah,
say
no, I
it.
know.
If it's the latter
Yeah.
part of April, maybe we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's, again,
Yeah.
weather
Like I
permitting.
said, if everything is good, and
Knock
we
on.
listen, we want to see the kids out there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Playing and having a good time, and
Great job by Anne Marie getting this all scheduling and the paperwork, the fees, the insurance submitted and reviewed.
There's a lot of
Great
work
job.
that goes in
Yep.
on this, and also coordinating with all of the leagues is quite a daunting challenge. So, since that has been made, do we have a second? Who's second?
I'll second.
Call the question, please.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Orange County Preservation Act, that would be 7.4.
Okay.
See, 7.4. Okay, resolution in support of the Orange County Preservation Act, Orange County legislators Hudson Valley Community Preservation Home Rule Request to State of New York Assembly Bill Number A7699B and Senate Bill Number S6224B as in Bravo. Can I get a second on
I
this?
will second.
Any for discussion?
This is to allow Orange County and the towns and villages to assess a
A fee with
fee
sale.
or a percentage fee for open space.
Oh, for
Something
open
that
space,
the governor has vetoed only for Orange County and nowhere else. So,
Shocking, I say.
Yep.
Correct.
He
Absolutely
approved that in
shocking.
Ulster County, didn't he? This law?
a bunch of other places too.
Just Orange County.
Yep,
Just Orange County, aren't we lucky?
Interesting.
yep. So, yes, so just want to give it with that caveat and,
Nice to know, thank you.
yes.
Any other discussion on this issue? So, call the question, please.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay. 7.5, change order, Darlin Associates. Says modifications,
All right,
okay.
I'll go over that. So the issue with that is we had some change orders that were unforeseen. The first one was $11,857 was for the railing. The second one was for some construction changes, which was $16,716. And then the ones below that were just, I think that, I forget what the 1,932 was for, but the 2,510 was for some additional painting that wasn't in the contract. And then we had a $910 credit for various things that weren't completed. That brings our total for the changes to $32,106.08. There was an allowance in the general contractor's contract of $20,000. So we needed approval for the contract of 1G for $12,106.08. So I'll make that motion to approve that. If somebody wants to second it with discussion, I'll add something else.
I'll
Cologne,
second it.
go ahead.
For discussion.
Seconded by
Discussion.
Mr. McGinn.
All right, so the other part of that is there's 3 other prime contracts with the painters, mechanical, and the plumber. And those overages right now will not be used, and it will still keep us under the total that we had originally put this out for bid, when it originally went out for bid, of $788,000 and change. So we'll still come under that amount.
So we're under budget and right on schedule, which for a major project like this, I think is quite a feat. So,
The only thing that won't be completed by the middle of next week will be the finished work outside. Looks like with the weather holding up, the patio will be completed this week. The electric's done. We're gonna have to wait because New Windsor IT is not coming down on site unless there's an imminent threat to residents getting information. So they won't be able to program the sign. Everything's wired in for the sign, and the receiver is installed outside for the LED sign.
Great.
all right. So, call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Okay, electronics quotes. This is for discussion for quotes of a new electronics managed HD SD digital video server utilized for media production for the town of Monroe.
All right.
Okay, so our, essentially what's happening with this is, the lifespan of our technologies is coming to an end. George might be able to clarify a few points, but the way it was explained to me is that they will not be, able to be serviced. So we're going to have to, go forward and buy new equipment. George, did you want to add anything, George?
Yeah, that, the support ended in actually 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
And- I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can you just kind of explain what it does, George,
The video
that piece of
server is-
equipment?
It's what puts out the community channel 22 and all that's associated with it.
Okay.
It's a little different from a regular server because it's a video server and of course they're much larger files, what have you. But we, you know, we're not going to be able to get parts because all the parts get bought up and they don't support it any longer. So we're just kind of skating on thin ice with this.
And you haven't had support for 4 years?
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
But we've been lucky because we've only had it for, I think in 14
Okay.
we purchased it. And unbeknownst to me, that it was going to, you know, end in 16, the support for it, you know. We kind of got sold a little bill of goods there. But
All right.
All right, so that's for the amount of, what is it, $9,278.78? Okay. Any, any additional comments or questions?
What's the lifespan on the new one?
oh, it's 10 years.
10 years, and we'll have full
And we'll
support
have
for 10
support
years.
for 10.
Yeah,
Good.
thank
And
you.
how long is it guaranteed for?
5. Yeah, 5 until
Okay.
replacement.
So 10 years, 10-year, 5-year warranty, and then 10 years you'll have
Service.
support. Okay.
Support and parts.
Right. Because a lot of this technology changes and they obsolete the parts.
Are you happy with that number?
That was the best, you know. and,
Okay.
We could talk later about it, but Tony and I were discussing.
Okay, good enough.
It's kind of like there's a little monopoly goes on. And, you know, they're the players.
Yeah,
All right,
Right?
little incestuous relationships in that business.
yeah,
Yeah.
shocking.
And we went out to state bid, Mike. We talked to Joe,
Okay.
and we actually got it cheaper than he could get it.
Oh, great.
So,
Yeah. It is what it is.
yeah.
You know, we gotta put the videos out there on
Yeah.
22, and it has to be done.
Acting supervisor has to look good on TV. So, you know, very important.
So does the rest of the board, correct, sir? Correct. And, correct, madam?
Correct.
Thank you. So, call the question, please.
Bing 'em up.
Nobody made the motions.
I thought we did.
Yeah, you need a motion.
All right, motion to purchase said equipment. Can I get a second?
I'll second
You
it.
gotta name a company.
Number?
You name the
Sorry?
company
G&G Technology.
G&G Technologies.
and the amount?
And the amount?
And the amount is $9,278.78. So,
Someone second.
can we,
And presently, it's going to come from contingency.
okay, and the numbers to be, from what account to where? We'll get that
It's
later.
gonna, I don't know where it's gonna get transferred into, but it's gonna come from A0001990 -0000-00.
Okay. So, do I have a second?
Second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Begin I.
Thank you. Next. 7.7, charging stations. Now, this was a grant. Everybody has a copy of this. It's Charge Point. It's for the electric vehicles, we're going to have two stations, I believe. Two stations up here at the new town hall. And as we change over our fleet to electric vehicles for the town, they will be able to use it, as well as anybody else who comes to visit the town here at court or even at a meeting. And most of this is going to be picked up, I believe it's 80% will be picked up by the grant. The Get Ready by the Highway Department will be charged against the other 20%. In the end, it really shouldn't cost the town, it shouldn't have a cost to the town at all. So it's basically a gift as far as the grant money goes. The total amount of both stations will be $23,726. So 80% of that will be covered. The $4,000, that'll be charged by highway because they have to get ready the area, put down concrete, and make the necessary ready hookup to the town power station. Questions?
Yeah, I've got, so these aren't going to be public charging stations? These are.
They can be, and the public, when they use it, they can use their credit card for time and charge.
Now, I mean, part of the issue that I see is that you're going to have people going into the town highway garage area.
No, they're not. It's going to be up at Town Hall.
Town hall.
Is that
The
so?
new Town Hall.
Both of them are
right
gonna
by
be
the
here?
park. Yeah. See it? It's on the back of this page. Got it? Mike, you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
We're
at it right
looking
now.
So it's not going to be that far from where the patio is going to be, in the parking lot, on the upper lot.
This is the patio.
Yeah.
Because we have to put it closer to the main panel, and that's why it
Yeah,
can't go to the far end, as we originally wanted it to.
Did this company plug in stations online? I mean, when I
They
did
have
these down
apps.
at work, I went right through ChargePoint. And
Yeah, well, it's
it
just
didn't
ChargePoint.
cost us, pretty much didn't cost us anything other than what we had to do to put them in.
Did we bid on these with other?
These, yes, this was a bid that went out, and these, it's going to be a charge point system, Mike.
Yeah, I know, but it just, this guy seems like, or this company seems like there's some
City
kind of.
installer.
It seems expensive.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know, when I did it at work, it didn't, I had 8 of them put in, it didn't cost, it didn't cost,
It didn't cost that nearly that.
no, it cost us like $5,000, so I just,
But there may have been additional funding on that.
Well, it was a NYSERDA grant that we used for employee charging stations.
Right, but the 23,000 is being covered by the grant.
80% of it, you
Right.
said.
80%, and then the Get Ready is going to be the 4,000 to cover the rest. I don't see it costing the town maybe a few $100s, maybe.
Do you know how much the grant is, and do we have it in hand?
The grant is 80% of this 23,000
So it's like
and change.
19.5.
So it's about 19.5, hold on.
And you've applied for the grant.
The grant is already approved. This is all from Millennium.
Okay.
That's the total amount, and the grant will cover 80% of that, so it'll be about 19 and change. So that'll be $18,980.80. It's 80%. And it'd be 47.45.
Madam Clerk, did this?
But this is
do you have-
also,
do you have a record of this going out to bid?
I have a question for you, Councilman. Did you get a 5-year
Or the cloud thing?
installation? Yeah, the cloud and
Yeah.
everything else?
I think we pay like $400 a year for it or something like that, the cloud services.
Dan. Rita.
And don't forget, this is for two, each unit has two
Yeah,
charging
it's
points.
for 4 altogether, yeah.
This is four.
Yeah, 4
charging
units,
stations.
four charging points, yeah.
Hey, Rick, while we're on this, we got some roadblocks with the area that the electric's gonna go in. We gotta run it from the main line, and I was talking to Highway and our engineers the other day.
Yeah,
I don't know how far down it's gotta go, but we have some issues with a drainage, pipe that's supposed to go into the grassy area off the curb for the driveway. And I guess there's some fiber optics in the ground there. So it may have to be run around, if it can, further out towards the property line and around the box.
or if you want to extend it, you can extend it further to the lower lot.
Well, that was the original plan, and then when this came through, that's why I checked into it, so.
All right, so now we have to,
Yeah, we gotta table this to the next meeting.
yeah.
I think what you gotta do, Rick, you gotta have a sit-down with Highway and let them go over it with you, so you can come up with a plan.
All right, I'll do that. Why don't we table this till the next meeting on the 6th of April? Because I want to get this done before we get any paving done.
Yes.
Well, Rick, that's not gonna happen probably, because the paving's scheduled to be done between the 10th and the 15th
Okay. Of when?
of April. I mean, if it's run right up against the curb, it's not a problem. You can put the charging stations, obviously, they're gonna go on the, grass side of the curb, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's not a problem.
So it's different than what we have on here.
Well,
Probably.
I don't think it'll be, in other words, it's not going to change where we're putting the stations, correct?
The wiring.
probably not, as long as you have the ability to go that route. The only thing is, we're not going through you can't go through that direction right now because you're going through the driveway.
Right.
The location I'm talking about going is where it says panel location.
Right, on the grass.
Go in between the sidewalk and that row of trees, and then come out by the charging stations.
All right.
Go sit with Highway, talk to him, figure it out, and then on the 6th, see what you gotta say.
All right. Unless we have that special meeting on the 25th. Can we also vote on this on the 25th?
I'd rather keep that agenda to what we have to talk about.
All right.
Has been
Which
noticed.
It was,
the floating zone.
Mr. Supervisor, the notice was only for the floating zone and no other, it wasn't notice for any other business.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I can't add any other business to it, Councilwoman Bingham. We
That
could still
wasn't-
add, but I don't want.
No, that was Mary Ellen.
That was me, Supervisor Cardone, Mary Ellen.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Mary Ellen.
All right, so why don't we table this to the 6th? And, Mr. McGinn, do you have the other agents that installed it down in the city?
Well, like I said, we did direct through ChargePoint, and they have a subcontractor that came and just did all. We had to make ready everything from the
Yeah, this
electric, from the box to the unit, and we were on the hook for that, and that was about $5,000. But everything else didn't cost anything because of the NYSERDA grant that was associated with these employees. It's called Charged. I forget the name of the program. It was Charge to Work or something like that, which was for employees in companies and universities and stuff like that.
Well, the 23,000 is going to be covered with, after the make-ready, will be covered mostly by the grant.
Well, I mean, it's still. I mean, listen. I don't know what the cost is to run the line from our box through to those charges, and that could be substantial.
That gets charged against the 4,000.
4,000.
In other words, the 4,000 that we would normally pay, that charge, in other words, goes to grant, it gets paid off by the grant.
Okay.
So we're not paying the 4,000.
Do we have a quote of 4,000 to do that work, to go from the,
Highway said it would be, they didn't give me a number on that, but if you want me to get a number exact,
Yeah, because I think that could be substantial money to do that. And that's right. Listen, because the placement of these things are all about as close as you can get to the source of the electricity. Because the
right.
longer you go,
The less
believe me,
power.
we had that issue when I was trying to put them in, and that was in a garage structure. There was no trenching. There was none of that. It was just running lines, And even with that got a little pricey. So, and that was all done in-house too. So I listen. I just want to make sure we're not getting into something that I think it's great, and I'm all for it. I just
I
want to
have
make
no
sure.
problem with that. I'm glad you said something on that.
Yeah, I
wish
just
you-
want to
had
make sure
known
that we're
earlier.
not going to get
No, I
buy
know what
these
you're
things and
saying.
have them
In
sitting
other words,
there.
if it's a $10,000 to put the line in
Right.
and the make ready, and we're only going to get 4 back.
Right.
So I hear what you're saying on that.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, that could be a little, but yeah, let's look into that and we'll,
Let's table it for the 6th,
okay.
and I'll have an exact number from Highway, and we'll go from there. And I'm also going to inquire as to the price difference, because how long ago did you put yours in down in the city?
We did it last fall. Last summer into the fall.
And you had all of these charges as well, but it was much less?
Yeah, because like I said, it was done right through ChargePoint. There was no middleman. That company wasn't part of the equation. It was all ChargePoint. Their rep, they contracted out the person that came and did the actual
That's
connection.
exactly what happened here.
Yeah, from
ChargePoint called these people.
Right. And again, I just want to make sure that we're not going to be
On the hook for
it.
because
Because
of-
maybe there's another location that wouldn't require that much trenching and all the other stuff that goes with it. Maybe even up here, I don't know, if town hall didn't work out,
Well,
I'm
I
just saying, you
didn't
got to
wanna-
keep it as close to the building as possible.
Well, I wanted to put it in a place.
What's
I wanted to put it in a place where if people
Wow.
come to a town board meeting or they go to court,
Yeah.
they can plug in. They'll be there for a couple hours instead of 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, probably not in court because,
Well, they're gonna have to wait a while.
yeah.
So,
But, let's just
all
get
right, there's
that.
no rush on that. I mean, we already got approved for it.
Yeah. Okay,
So it's not as if we're gonna lose the money.
yeah, okay,
You know what I'm saying?
gotcha,
So.
sounds good,
We can table that.
okay.
Mr. McGinn will have his coveralls ready and be
Yeah,
able to install that in no time.
yeah, I can barely change a light bulb when it comes to electric. I'll fry myself. All
Okay,
right,
we get
8.1,
8.1. Raywood Drive Extension. Hold on.
Last month, we requested a letter from the applicant to be sure that the extension would not become a road. You have a letter there. I'll defer to council to determine the validity and the strength of that letter in protecting us.
Counsel? You have a letter on that?
Yeah, this is just a question of whether the town wants to authorize,
Opening?
this extension with maintenance of this particular road with the understanding that it will not be extended beyond the
Right,
dead end that it is now.
right. It's basically to open up a driveway access for another,
Yeah, to
Yeah.
Oh, is that
extend
it?
like a cul-de-sac slightly
Right.
further.
yeah,
Okay, so, any other objection on that?
No, I just want to make sure the maintenance, he's saying up until inspection and approval of the highway superintendent and town engineer. So we need both of them to say the road is, well, the extension is built to
Yeah,
specs.
similar to dedication, once it's accepted by the town and approved by the highway superintendent, then the town would be responsible, like any road, to maintain it.
But it's going to be built to town specs, road specs.
Yes.
It has to be, yeah.
Okay.
Has to be.
As long as that's the case, I have no objections.
Okay, so,
I'll make a motion to approve the
the extension for,
road
Yeah, let me
extension.
suggest a motion, if somebody can adopt it, that you approve and authorize the town supervisor to execute any documents regarding the Raywood extension, subject to approval of town council.
So move.
so moved. Second by Councilwoman Bingham?
actually, she made it, I'll second it.
Right.
Okay. We'll do it that way.
Yep.
So, call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Public comment, has anyone
Yeah,
signed up?
so nobody's actually asked to. We do have several people on, so I'm just going to, there's only about 5 or 6, so I'll just quickly unmute them in case anybody wants to make a public comment. I'm just going to go in order. So the first one is Valerie, who is logged in. And hello, Valerie. Do you want to say anything?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Well, I just want to point something out. I don't know if it matters, but at the last meeting, you guys had made a motion to keep open the public hearing regarding the petition to amend zoning ordinance, Monroe Nininger, for 7 o'clock for April 6th. And then you had set a public hearing on April 6th at 7:05 for the proposed addition of Article 8 to Chapter 53 of the Code of the Town of Monroe. So my question is, does that affect the public hearings that you started with tonight, item 3.4?
Why don't we in the future, as Brian and I had spoke of, when we make motions for public hearings, do at 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter?
Yeah.
All of them.
I
So
was
there's
telling,
no time.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor. The Supervisor and I discussed this, that there's no need to do this. I know you guys always do this 7:05, 7:10, 7:15. The standard and the way it should be done is set the public hearing for 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter as can be heard. That's typically what Mary Ellen puts in the notices anyway.
Okay.
And just makes life a lot easier in whatever order you decide to put them on the agenda. But there's no conflict just because you set public hearings at the same time, because as long as you're meeting, it's always going to be as soon thereafter as you
Okay.
start it. So
Okay.
thank you, Val. Is there
You're
anything
welcome.
else you wanted to say?
Good point. Good point, Val.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Val.
Anything else,
You're
Val?
welcome. That's it.
I'm silencing you then, I'm moving on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Going to an iPhone, I don't know who it is, it's a mystery speaker, but I'm going to unmute them in case they want to say anything. iPhone, you're on. And no comment.
Next.
My wonderful executive assistant is on here, but I don't think she's going to want to say anything, so I'm skipping over her.
Really, Shannon?
I think so.
Hey, Shannon.
I'm unmuting you.
Oh, wow.
Very happy.
It's like she's running down the aisle and the price is right there or something, you know?
Come on down.
Come on down,
Next up,
Shannon.
we have
Dun,
Thomas,
dun, dun,
Thomas
dun.
Murphy. Thomas, you're on. You want to say anything? Okay, we're moving on. Then there is Tony, and I believe our wonderful and capable recreation director, Anne
Anne
Marie.
Marie.
I'm unmuting Anne Marie. Anne Marie, would you like to say anything?
Hi. No, I just wanted to see if the Monbassia approval was done, and I can see that it was. So thank you very much. And we will wait to hear what the leagues are going to do, and we won't open, of course, until they're ready and whatever the governor has to say or all that kind of jazz. So no, I don't have anything on this though. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Anne
you,
Marie.
Anne Marie.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Well,
Okay, so that's it for public comment.
All right, do we have anything to go to executive session, council?
I don't know if this would qualify for executive session, but I wanted to discuss having council work on or authorize council to work on the solicitation law as we brought up at the last meeting to narrow some of the guidelines and address some of the issues that we feel are being not properly handled by some solicitors and real estate people.
Yeah, so I think we discussed that. I don't remember if we did a resolution. If
We didn't.
If the board would like to, I mean, I don't think you need one. If there's a consensus and you just would like me to, propose some revisions, I can do that. I don't think we need any formal action.
Yeah, I mean, I think you are well versed and know what our concerns are and what the concerns of the members of the community have brought to us with some of these solicitations. So if you could address those and tighten those up, we would appreciate that. I'll make that in a motion if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it if you want to, and then if any individual board members have comments or suggestions, you can certainly send it to me directly in an email, and then we can prepare a draft.
I don't think it's necessary at this point to make it a motion, only when we accept it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Again,
this way we
I
have
mean,
more
there's a
latitude.
consensus here on the board that we do want the
Absolutely.
attorney to.
Yeah, I
Yes,
would only
okay.
suggest if somebody didn't want to do it, then I would usually suggest a motion, but
Alright.
you don't need.
No,
Consensus,
no.
Mr. Supervisor, I guess you consent with that as well?
Yes, absolutely. Brian and I have had multiple conversations on it.
You want me to announce it?
So I'm in favor of it. One of the discussion points was, some people were intimidated by 2 and 3 people coming up to their door, and we would like to limit it to 1.
Yes, and it was that and some of the days, especially holidays and days
Yes.
of religious observation that were concerning as well, so.
Sure.
We
So-
getting some text too from people that they're very aggressive when they come to the door.
So-
Yeah, and so just as a matter of guidance, any complaints you get, recordings, statements, emails,
Okay.
to make the town aware of it, because if it's a particular group, entity, whatever, we want to know that, because there still are enforcement provisions under your existing code, but you need the complaints, like anything, in order to do something with that.
Yeah, well, we are getting some documentation on that, Mr. Nugent. We'll forward it to you for your
Yeah.
appropriate action and consultation.
Well, thank you, Councilman.
Other than that, is there
Yes.
anything for executive?
I'd like to make a motion. We discussed this via email, to appoint Patrick
Oh,
Shea
yes.
to the planning board for the town of Monroe.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll second that.
Can you just say that again, the name, Supervisor, so people can hear it?
Patrick Shea.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I concur.
Obviously a Monroe resident. Well qualified, expressed an interest. He did have an interview / conversation with the planning board chair, and he was very much in favor of him being added to the board. And he would take the slot Madam Clerk, of James McKnight, who had to resign because he's now our new town justice.
Yes. I'll make sure we put the slot number in, and I'm not going to try to remember what slot it is, so I'll just put the appropriate slot in for Mr. McKnight's.
Is that a vacancy?
So we,
Really?
Yes, it
That's a
is a
vacancy.
vacancy.
Okay.
It is a
so
vacancy.
since we have a second by Mr. McGinn, call the question, please.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye?
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
McGinn, aye.
Thank you. Now it's official. Do we have another opening on that board, or?
Nope.
One other point I'd like to make, because we had some discussion last night on a text concerning my decision to not allow the public into tonight's meeting. I will tell you that based on the fact that we are in a state of emergency, it was my right to make that decision without the town board. And after discussing it with our council, county exec, and some other supervisors, I thought it was in the best interest and the safety of the public. I know there was one or two of you who did not feel it was in favor. I will stand by it because of the executive order for the state of emergency in our town. And I will let you know that if I do it anytime in the future, I will reach out to everyone and ask their opinion. Although that doesn't mean I will, go with everyone's opinion, but I will ask everyone's opinion.
Yeah, I'll go on the record as being the person that was opposed to it, only because there wasn't some consultation, and I think us as the elected members of this board are while consulting with other agency heads and supervisors and the attorney, we're the ones that the voters will hold accountable, and it was that and some other issues with the workforce that I believe fell outside those parameters. I mean, I believe this board is appreciative of what you do on a daily basis in town hall, and that's not at issue. It was just that I felt there should have been some consultation.
Well, just to clarify, and let council chime in, none of that fell outside of the duties that I have when there's a state of emergency.
Be that as it may, Mr. Supervisor, I think still consultation with the board, is something that, we regularly speak, and that's something that we should have discussed.
I'd like to say something at this point. Tony, I think that when you consult the board, you have us behind you 100%, and you know how I feel about keeping this board together the way it's working. I know you feel, and all of us here feel the same way. So when you ask for consultation, it's basically letting us know, and we can support you, and we come together as a group. We come together as a town board. And I think that's what Mr. McGinn was basically, I guess, his position on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, that being said, are we going into executive?
I don't have anything in particular, unless...
Anything further
So,
from anybody?
One thing, I did just get an email that the Village of Monroe elections are postponed until April 28th. So it is official, they did postpone the village.
That's a news flash direct from the village.
And just so you know that, I just got that too, Sal, that coincides with the presidential primary.
Wow.
No, it's interesting.
That is
Same day.
So,
Turnout.
I would just like the board to know that Supervisor Cardone had the telephones numbers ported over, and the town phone number is ported over to my cell phone, and it is working very well, because my phone rang off the hook all day long, and it is working. We are able to work from home. I was able to answer even in a car riding home from a meeting with my husband's cell phone in one hand and the phone on the other, and pull up the town website and give the information.
But you
on
weren't
tax
driving,
bills.
were you?
I was not driving.
Thank you.
So what the supervisor has put in place for this emergency is working
Okay.
Good.
for the
Good.
employees.
I respectfully
No,
acknowledge that you do work off hours and appreciate that, but, you know, there's a
no,
whole
that-
other workforce out there.
No,
that
I
was-
didn't,
yeah.
that wasn't meant to, I just
Yeah.
wanted, I haven't spoken to him also, but I want the residents to know that they can call, that we are answering the phones. So,
Does anybody else have any comments to make to the public at large?
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Double down and washing your hands.
that's my face.
Anyone wanting to take a dial-a-bus, we do have drivers that will be available. We have reached out, both Emery Morris, Jen, and myself, to our seniors today, and our seniors do not want to take the bus for, fear of contracting the virus. All the buses will be cold fogged. I'm sorry, all the buses were cold fogged today to sanitize them, and they have to remain closed for approximately 20 hours, which they were done at 9:30. And the senior center will be cold fogged tomorrow. And then we're also working on sanitizing and cold fogging the town hall. It looks like through the governor's order and Orange County Executive Steve Newhouse's order that the monies should be reimbursable for what we expend on this, but I think it's important that we do it for the safety of our employees and the residents.
I'd like to remind everybody in the town, this is America. We're not going to run out of anything. You don't have to worry about stocking up. It's not I think it's going to be well handled by not only the federal, state, and local governments. We have a lot of support here. So please, don't panic. Much of this is being handled a lot better than in many other places, as I'm sure you're all aware of.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on what Councilman Cologne said, listen, we're going to get through this. We've been through, as a town and a county, we've been through 9/11, through Sandy, Hurricane Irene. We've had our fair share of things thrown at us. And we'll get through this. And in a couple of months, we'll be looking back on it saying, well, I can't believe that happened. But you know what? Life will return to normal. We'll all return to normal. And life will go on. So, if you're in one of those categories of people that should be very careful, whether you be elderly or you have respiratory or heart issues, then you know what? You should really, really try to limit your contact with the public. As far as everyone else, just use those precautions, like Councilwoman Bingham said. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Use hand sanitizer.
Yep.
Do those things that will keep you from contracting this virus. And if you do, then just know that you have the best medical care that you're going to find anywhere in the world here. So sit tight, folks. We'll get through this.
Yep.
And catch up on some old movies or something.
Another thing is, too, there's a lot of small businesses in our community that are greatly affected by this. Bars, restaurants closing up, will only do takeout deliveries. Support these people, help them. These are the hardest times of their lives for some of them, so we have to support them.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Yes.
There is a bit of good news. Spring is on the way. At least it's not the dead of winter.
This is
And as
true.
you can tell by my voice, my allergies are catching up with me, so it's pretty bad. But at least it'll warm up, and it will get better, I promise. So with that, Mr. Supervisor?
No, just one other word of advice. So originally, the county was going to have a testing location at Thomasville Memorial Park. That was nixed because the state is implementing a testing station at Anthony Wayne. And anybody that feels they have any symptoms, they're to call their healthcare provider, not go to any location until they get clearance to go to that location.
Good advice.
Yeah, they need like a prescription almost, right?
Yeah.
To get tested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crazy times.
Yep.
We'll get through it.
We'll get
We
through
will
it.
get through it. The
We
weather's
always
going to warm up soon. Go outside, walk around the lake, walk around the ponds.
And
Enjoy your family.
the Yankees will be playing soon, and all will be right with the world.
Let's hope so.
So with that, I would like
So will the
to,
Mets?
if you're used to disappointment, yes.
Well, my wife's a Met fan, so I have to, stay on the good
support 'em.
side of her. I'm a Yankee fan. We're a house divided.
No, never, never. So with that, I would like to get a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I will second.
call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cologne, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Begin, aye.
And thank you, Monroe.